Hello, lovely people. Hope you're all well. And I'm delighted to say the first ever sit down with Sanderson show is happening right now. So grab your popcorn, grab your drinks, whatever you like to do, because I'm here with a man who doesn't do ifs, buts, and maybes. He does absolutes. I'm with the one and only James Redman. Stay tuned to the Sanderson show, people. Mr. Redman, my bro.
Hello, Callum. Nice.
Man,
First off, the honour that it is to be on the first episode. It's a pleasure, my mate. Thank you very much for getting me on the channel, Callum. You know you're me
thank
brother,
you.
lads. You know you're me brother. Everyone knows that we've got all the Coppish viewers, all the Redmond's army. They know
Yeah,
this is
they
family
know.
right here, man. This is family. So
Definitely.
thank you very much for getting on the channel, getting me on the channel.
No, bro, the pleasure's absolutely all mine. I really appreciate it, as you know, starting this off now and just see where it goes, really. So it's all going to be good laughs and fun. But yes, delight to have you on, man. Really do appreciate you making the time, bro.
Nah, top man.
So, boy, you've had a lovely rise to the top, bro. Like, and it's no, it is, bro. It's beautiful to see because, like, I think what happens in life is we see other people rise and it's either you're happy for them because they're a nice person or you're not happy for them because they're not a nice person.
Yeah.
For you, not only you're a nice person, but you're a great character as well. You have a lovely blend, James. So, I mean, how did you become a Liverpool supporter in the first place? How did it all start for you?
First off, lad, nice one for that fucking hell. You're trying to make me cry early on. Nah. So how did I become a Liverpool supporter? Weren't a choice, bro. It was one of them. Like, it was just, you're born into a Liverpool kit. And I'll tell you now, yeah, like, I want to say this. I don't think people from Liverpool should be like, because I think the way you're determined as a fan is like, how much time do you actually put into your club? So no matter where you are from in the world, the only thing that determines how much of a fan you are is how much you genuinely love Liverpool Football Club or whoever it is you may support. But there was something, like, especially now in the position that I'm in, there's something rather beautiful about just being born so close to the area and then growing up to see what Liverpool actually is. It's not just a football team. It's not just something that us around Liverpool know. It's a worldwide thing where it allows people to escape, whether it's for 90 minutes, whether it's for the interviews that you watch, whether it's the training sessions, however much you're into it, it allows you to escape for the time that you may be watching. And also, with so much wrong in the world, it's the one time where everyone can come together. We saw it with the Super League. And I'm not being funny or not. It gives me a little bit of a distaste, Callum, to like see the impact that we can have when we actually all just unite. But over football, we did do that, but we don't do it over other things. But just to see in general that we could come together, we were all on one side. There was no arguments about anyone else. That's what football brings, and that's what I love about football. And that's what I love about Liverpool, because it's all different types of fans from all different types of cultures. So there's something rather beautiful about being born just right, but like 15 minutes away from the stadium, that people just even dream of not even going inside, but just being in the presence. I can do that every day. That's a blessing in itself. Do you get what I mean? So I don't take it for granted, that's for sure. But born into it. We're a choice.
Nice. No, everything you say there is spot on, bro. And the thing is, as you said, I think people who aren't necessarily football fans don't really get the unity that comes with football. Like, some of the best friends I've made in my life have been through football, like lifelong friends. And it's like, I just can't get ingrained into someone who's not involved in football, like how much it kind of consumes you. But also, I think the tribalism is healthy to an extent. But as you said, when things like the ESL happen, it just shows the unity and it just shows that football is the be end and the be all and end for people who love clubs. Because even though you might love Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea, my guy. Had to get the apple juice in there.
That weren't planned, by the way. I was already drinking that just
it's
so
meant
you
to
know.
be. It's meant to be. But I mean, it just shows that the unity football can bring in. And you're right as well, because other subjects such as homophobia, racism, sexism, all those things, we can eradicate that. We have the power to do that. And
Facts.
only when we decide as a whole to do that will it happen. So God willing, it happens sooner rather
It's
than
like,
later.
Do you know what, Callum? Sorry to interrupt you, but it's
No,
like
go for
the
it.
Glenn Kamara situation. That should have made so much more noise than what it did.
Yeah.
Because there was even the player who said the things to him from Slavia Prague, was it? He
Yeah.
got a 10-game ban, and then didn't Kamara get a 3-game ban?
4-game.
4-game ban, and I was seeing people on Twitter saying, "Oh, but he was aggressive." Are you mad? Like, can
Yeah.
you just imagine being like called something for something that you can't affect, and they're saying this in a negative tone towards you, and you're supposed to just accept that? What? Because you're a professional footballer? No, mate.
It's
I'm
crazy.
not being funny. If I have the right to defend myself, he has the right to defend himself.
Facts.
It's crazy, brother, and no one made the noise. That's the only reason why I bring that up. But football in itself, as you just mentioned, it's the one thing where we can at least come to. Like, when we score a goal, everyone's celebrating the goal.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful moment, man.
Yeah, it is. There's nothing like it. And again, anyone who's never experienced it, even, and again, my advice to someone, even if you're not a football fan, try and get to a game. I think it will change your perception. Can you imagine if someone who'd never been involved in football or like football went to Liverpool, Barcelona, for example? Bro, like, how can you not fall in love? How can you not fall in love with the sport?
I think
It's
you
special.
probably hate every other game after it.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
It's the pinnacle.
Yeah.
It's the pinnacle. But we're
atmosphere was
fortunate
mad on
enough.
that day.
Yeah, but we're fortunate enough to be associated with a club like Liverpool, and as yourself, like as you said, growing up a stone's throw away from the stadium. What was life like growing up for you in and around the area and school, etc.? What was all that like for you?
Do you know what, lads? It was. Do you know what I'd say? I'd just say it was fun, because I was just one of them where the first 12 years of my life, all my day consisted of was I wake up, I go outside in the street, I'll come in with scabby knees, elbows done in, just scars everywhere all over my body, foot stamps from football, scratches on your belly from like wrestling with your mates, all that type of stuff up until about 12. That was all it was. And then obviously you go to high school, and all it was through high school as well was just football. So when I look at my childhood and I saw that question when you asked it, and I thought to myself, like, do you know, when I think about my childhood, truthfully, I just think about it as, even though it was a rough area that I grew up in, and there were circumstances that weren't the nicest to be in as a young kid, it was just like, when you're a kid, you're in your own little world. I'm acting like I'm about 50 years of age, you know what I mean? But I mean, when I was a little boy, though, lad, you're in your own little world. You don't know what goes beyond. You don't really know how truly crap the world can be outside of your little bubble. All it was for me was a little bit of, was football, and that was what made me happy. Stuff like that, just being out with your mates, being out with your cousins or whatnot. I had quite a big family with loads of cousins, so we'd always be doing things. And that, when I think about it, I don't think about it in distaste, do you know what I mean? You realise things when you get older as well. But overall, just fun. And I think a lot of kids from Liverpool, even though it's not easy for kids all over the world, but in Liverpool, it's a tough time for a lot. But it's them moments, like when you're in school and you get to have the break time and you play, them 15 minutes of football can genuinely make someone's day. It can be the one thing, it can be the reason you wake up.
Yeah.
Literally, I remember, I can't wait for break, can't wait for lunch. And it was the most intense hour of the day. And it was boss. It was boss, and I loved it, mate. So, thinking about childhood, I have nothing but good memories for sure.
Yeah, I'm like you. Like I grew up in quite a rough area. Anyone who knows where Thornton Heath is in South London knows that it was a rough area. And growing up, it's like anyone who wasn't from the area would be like, "Oh, you grew up there." But obviously, there's other places like your Brixtons, your Peckhams as well that are quite rough as well. And it was like, yeah, we grew up there, but even though you had your problems and stuff, it's home, innit? Like even now, my mum still lives there, and it's like when I go there, I get that warm feeling. I'm just like, yeah, I'm home. This is home. And it's like when you grow up as a kid, as you said, you're in that bubble, but you just don't appreciate it until you get older. And like, obviously, I'm quite a bit older than you. And bro, I'll be honest, I look back at my childhood and I was like, you know what, them days there, beautiful. And it's like I'm privileged to work with someone at my 9 to 5 who we went to school together. And we just reminisce sometimes. She's like, "Do you remember this? Do you remember that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like it's crazy." Like even remember getting on the bus. Oh, but it's a beautiful feeling. I think sometimes it's like, don't get me wrong, I'd love to be well off so I can support my friends and family, etc. But I wouldn't want my kids to be too disconnected from what I deem to be an area where you have to be on your P's and Q's, because
Yeah.
you can get disillusioned with what life is. And I think it makes you an honest person. Like, you have to know where to tread, where not to tread, how to speak to people, and how to speak to different types of people. So I think it's really important that we grow up in these sort of areas. It molds us.
Bro, 100%. And in fact, just to intercept on that, like, even though I had a good childhood, there were still things that was fucked up in this area every single day. Kids getting stabbed, kids fighting all the time, families getting involved with each other, and it's a rough place, mate. Liverpool as a city is rough, but then when, like, the area that I live in, I've always lived 15 minutes from the stadium, and it's not the nicest area, Anfield, even though the stadium's lovely, and if you're there, then you're okay. Once you start to go beyond that, that's when you can start to see a few of the rats and whatnot. And I'll tell you now, you might grow up and, you know, for example, for me, I had a lot of scraps growing up, just a little tuffles, and I don't condone it, but when you're growing up, that's just what happens at the end of the day. And you can look back at that with distaste, and I do feel sorry for people who do experience nothing but bad times growing up, because I couldn't imagine not being able to look back like the way me and you talking about and the things that at the time we would have took for granted. Now it's like we do anything just for that moment again. And I just always think of it that way, man. And it's just all the bad things, all the good things. It's made me the person who I am. And I say this to people all the time as well, Callum. All the way from the kid who is very poor, living in a council house, the mar and dar can barely pay the rent. They barely get any money because they're just about covering the bills. So all the way from that kid, all the way to the kids who lives in a posh area, who has got money funded for them for when they're 18, ready, but they might not have much of a purpose. It's circumstances. So we are, for example, me and you, and the areas we grew up in.
Yeah.
We were forced to learn morals, to be respectful, we were forced to make sure we not picked our battles, but like defend yourself. But you don't go up to anyone and just give them shit for no reason. Essentially, you're respectful and you've got your manners. But at the same time, even in terms of achieving goals, like football or doing boxing or MMA or even doing well in school, a lot of that was forced from us to make sure that we were doing well in them situations. Yeah. Whereas let's go to the kids who's got money, just, you know, the family's got loads of money, they've got a fund for them ready for when they're 18. They might not have as much purpose because they've got everything gifted to them. So we've all got our own circumstances. So just because I'm from Liverpool and I weren't gifted with a silver spoon at my mouth doesn't mean my success story, whenever that may be, will be any more valuable than someone who was given a lot of money to do so. It's about the grind, and it's about keeping your head in there and going for your dreams, and it's about fulfillment at the end of the day. And I say to people, if you're happy and fulfilled, you've done life right, you know what I mean? And if you're not, then God willing you get to wake up tomorrow, you get that extra chance. Do you get what I mean, lad?
Yeah. And again, I'm glad you said that, because people do often, let's say, for example, we rose to the top. People would see us as the success stories, and let's say someone was rich and born into riches and etc. and all the wealth and stuff. If they made a path for themselves, I think people would downplay that and be like, "Oh well, they've had it easy." And in actual reality, everyone has it hard, but just in different ways. Like, we'd have it hard because we'd have to probably start the grind earlier in life. We'd have to figure things out earlier. But they've got added pressure that we will never understand, because if their parents are stupidly successful and rich, they now have to get to that level and probably surpass it. It's like we see footballers, bro. Like, let's say Cristiano Ronaldo's son, if he becomes a professional footballer, the pressure he's going to have, as opposed to, let's say, my son, if my son ever becomes a footballer, it's going to be so different. Like, my son could go into a park and start playing football and they'll be like, yeah, he's brilliant. Cristiano's son, they're expecting him to be brilliant. So the struggles and the difference in the expectations and reality are so demanding on different people. So I don't think we should downplay people who are born into luxury, as it were, because they still have grinds and they still have hustles they've got to do for themselves. So I think you put that brilliantly. But James, speaking about your rise, etc., I've got to play a video that everyone's synonymous with, everyone's seen. This was the beginning. This was the genesis of James Redmond. So I'm going to play it now.
Anything else?
Unbelievable. Yeah. We blew them away.
We did. Every player was boss, and the one that I'm mentioning now, Sadio Mane, I said it last time I was on it, he's the best football player in the world. I don't know why he's laughing for. Chris, why are you laughing for? Why are you laughing for? I'm being serious. I'm being serious. No, you see, I'm talking facts here. I don't do if, buts and maybes. I do absolutes.
You see that last line? Every time I've probably listened to it about a dozen times. Every time I hear it, it just sends goosebumps because I'm like, because I've got the pleasure of knowing you, I know that was not an act. That's you. That is who you are.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have seen that and be like, I bet you planned that. No, this is how you are. You're very off the cuff, but you're very witty with it, and you got natural charisma. So how did that all come? How has that all come about?
I'll tell you the story behind it, but you know what I do say with that interview, and to anyone who says like it was planned, I sometimes sit here and think, do you know if that was planned? I am a genius. I am a genius because, like, you know, if I planned that and I knew that was going to go viral, you know, I actually looked a couple of months ago because someone said, like, wait, like, how popular is that video, like, on their channel or what, like, Redmen TV? Oh, shout out to Redmen TV. By the way.
Shout out to Redmen TV. Paul,
like,
Ross,
without them,
Chris.
Like, we talk about people who doing what I'm doing now. Paul, Ross, Chris, them type of people, mate. Massive
Ben.
to where I am now, so shout them out every
Beautiful
single
people
time.
as well.
People
Beautiful
think because,
people.
like, we don't speak as much no more, we've got, like, a problem. Absolutely not.
No.
Always got the utmost respect for Paul and Chris. Always, every time. If they ever need anything, they know they can message me. Just wanted to get that out the way. Anyway, so I lost track there. What was I saying there, Callum?
If you're saying if people said that you planned it, if you did,
so I would have been a genius. So to predict that we were going to have a very, very good game. Bear in mind as well, if you go off the context of what I said the last time I was on here, I said it. Sadio Mane is the best player in the world. So I've been on there before. So that's like the backstory that I wanted to give you, because that weren't the first time ever that I was on. I think it was maybe like the third. But every time I went on there, I weren't going on for the purpose of actually going on camera. I only wanted to actually just see Paul and Chris and just like see what they were actually doing. Yeah. It was interesting, mate. We knew where they was after the game. And we just thought, why not? We've just won a game of football. We're back in the Champions League, do you know what I mean? So I wanted to celebrate it just a little bit more. It gets to the fan cam, and me and Paul just end up being close together at this point. And I don't know this for sure because I've never asked him, but I think he knew me face a little bit from a previous fan cam, because he looked at me with like a little smile type of thing, and he was just like, you're all right. And I was just like, yeah, going on, Paul. Anyway, start the fan cam, and it was just a minute of poetry. Like, it weren't like planned poetry. It weren't sense either. It was genuine, just emotion, all up in that moment, bubbled up, just celebrating with the people. And I heard like people were actually listening, because while I was speaking, I heard people laughing, and I was like, as if everyone's actually engaged into this. Yeah. And it's just like, because when people are laughing at me, I usually just keep going. Like, I usually just keep speaking type of thing. So I just kept chatting shit. That's all. I was just there, like, bam, bam, answer she be your uncle, but she doesn't. So just thinking of phrases that I've heard that sound funny. And like, to fit into my arguments as well, because I get my point across in a very weird way. Once that interview finished, I just left straight away. Because, like, I was just that buzzing, Me and my mate, I just went to my mate, lad, let's go. Anyway, so we left. And it got uploaded later on in the night, obviously, because that's when they do it. They'd like shout out to Redmen TV as well.
They work hard.
Bro.
They grind.
Like, right now they grind, but like, then, like, it was fan after fan after fan, edit after edit after edit, out on YouTube. Uploading a video on YouTube itself is annoying. To do all the editing, the interviewing, and getting that all to get out on the same night, insane. So they got that out. And at first, like, it was the most popular fan cam on that night. But it weren't, like, going viral. It weren't, like, going places, do you know what I mean? So, and I never expected it to. It was just something that I wanted to show. Because I was at the end of year 11 when that video first came out. And it was just something to show me, mate.
Because that was Hoffenheim. That was the second leg against Hoffenheim, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was. So, actually, I just finished year 11, right? So, I just finished year 11, and I was going into sixth form. So this is dead funny actually, now that we've just got into this. So I go into sixth form, and I think there's only like 2 kids who know me face, but because the video weren't massive at this point. And they're like, wait, did you do that video? I was like, yeah. So a few people started to know I'd done this video in the school, but then out of nowhere a few months later, and this is why it's dead weird,
Yeah.
Like, meme pages started posting it. It started going viral on Twitter, and then the video itself went boom. I think it's their most popular fan cam. I think it's their second most popular video ever. It's on like 1 point something million views
crazy.
on YouTube alone. Bro, someone sent me a TikTok the other day, reposted. Bear in mind, this was recorded in 2017.
Yeah,
I was 16 years of age, bro. All the more reason that I actually wish that was planned. Bro, I would have been Albert Einstein-esque if that was planned. I do think that, you know, I think if I planned that through, that would have been amazing. So, it then goes viral. And people are starting to clock on to me. And this is the story. So I was in boxing. I just started boxing for a few months. And it was after the class. I saw my phone. Notification after notification after notification. And I'm thinking, wow, someone's died here, Callum. Someone died here. Because there's no way. Like, why else is my phone blowing up otherwise? And then I start to see the messages. And it's like, James, like, have you saw, was it I'm Just Bait or Young Kings TV? It was one of them. And I didn't even follow meme pages at the time, bro. So you'd have to follow them. And the thing is about meme pages, they're knobheads. They're all private. So you've got to wait. So I'm just there, like, there's a video about me on this page that's got about 2 million followers, and I can't see it. So, and I wanted to see what people were saying about me and all this. Because at this point, I was completely new to this level of people talking about me. So I made a conscious decision while I was waiting. Because I was doing bits with Redman, and I wanted to take, like, I was thinking, do I do this a little bit more? And in that moment, I made a conscious decision, and it was like, do I message these and then say, like, tag me, and, you know, maybe we can get it started there, and then I can start posting on my Instagram just talking about football. And then I just went, you know what, fuck it, go ahead, sweet, I'll do that. So they ended up tagging me. Shout out to them, by the way, because they didn't have to do that. Tagged me. Got, like, I think 4,000 followers. I was on, like, 500s. It ended up on, like, 4,000. And then just over time, I just kept posting and posting and posting. And it was Instagram for, like, the first 2 years. But back at that moment, when it first went viral, bro, it was just mad. Because it was so unexpected. And it was out of nowhere.
And this is the thing. That's the beauty of YouTube, and the beauty of, and again, as you said, beauty of Paul and Chris and Ross and Ben and all the guys at Redman.
Legends.
Like, they will help other people. And I've experienced it myself. Like, I only started speaking to those guys a few months back, but they've been so helpful. And it's like little things like people don't realize when we're in this industry, people don't realize things like tagging and all that. We take it for granted. Not everyone does it though. Like, simply not everyone does it. So when someone of that size does it, it makes a massive difference. So, I mean, you speak about how your life changed after that interview, the fact that your phone was blown off, etc. Like, did you expect to get, like, what was it like walking around your area and stuff? Did you start becoming more recognizable?
That was weird. So in school, it was always the same, but then everyone in school known about it. So I was just like, what? And then when I'm walking, because I was in a sixth form, so we had a sixth form block. But when you're walking through the school, which they're very close together, all the year 11s and year 7s and year 8s and year 9, they're all saying, oh my God, it's that kid. And I never said my name on the video, so they're like, wait, you're the Manny kid? So I was the Manny kid. Anyway, I start going to town. So I start going to town at this point. Obviously, I'm in sixth form, so I start to go out and all that. And it's just like, and people have extra confidence when they're pissed, right? So they'll just, they're not asked, and they'll be like, mate, you that kid that said Sadio Mane's the best player in the world? You're sick, you lad. It was all love, bro. Like, this is what I thought. I was like, if I get clocked, what's the reception gonna be? Like, are they gonna think I'm a knobhead, or are they gonna, like, take seriously, like, what I said? Are they gonna, like, Mane's not the best player in the world? One of them ones. But there was a lot of people who took it for what it was, lad, and, you know, they found the funny side of it, and it was one of them things where every time, and Liverpool's a small place, so you start to, like, people who you don't even think will recognise you, and it's a weird thing, man. And I definitely, because it weren't something I was looking for. Like, I know I asked for the tag and all that, but that was just because I started out with Redman, and I was like, maybe I could build a little page off this, and I weren't really using Instagram anyway. But the ambition weren't to go super viral, and also, who's to say that video is going to stay going viral? Bro, that still gets posted to this day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's also a blessing as well, lad, because there was a lot of people who watched that video, they invested into me, type of thing. They thought I was funny, they gave me a chance. So anyone who did follow, like, there's so many people who've been on my journey from even before I started YouTube. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
when that video went viral for like 2 years, I was just posting football videos. So it gave me that chance, and that's why it's sick, lads, looking back.
Yeah, it's a beautiful story. I mean, even like obviously, you know, we do Coppish. So like the first 3 times I got noticed out and about, I didn't react to it very well, because it's like, so the first time I was in Tesco, and I was coming down like a travelator, and like I'm walking down, and some guy's like, he's looking at me, and he's like, so I'm thinking, but I'm telling you, bro, the guy is built like a machine. Like, I'm looking at him, I'm thinking,
if you get clocked in your area,
yeah. So I'm thinking, all right, and I just come from football, so I'm still like in my football stuff, and he's like, and I'm thinking, all right, so I'm not in beef with anyone. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm not in beef with anyone. Yeah. But I've had a few arguments at football in the last few weeks. I could have swear none of them were with him. Like, so I've come down this, and he's like, "You right, bro?" And I straight away, I'm just in defensive mechanism. I'm like, "Yeah, you good?" And he's like, "Callum, yeah." And I'm thinking, "Oh, he knows my name. He knows my name." So I've gone, it depends who's asking. And he's like, and he's gone, no, from Coppish, right? And I'm like, yes, it's Callum.
That's funny, man. Oh my God.
Because, bruv, all I'm thinking is, one, how am I going to defend myself against this guy who's built like a machine? And two, why would I ever get myself into a problem with a guy this size? Like,
yeah,
like I know I'd back myself, but like, why would I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't
like I'd remember this moment. I'd remember if this was any sort of altercation. It's
like, he is someone I'd remember.
So, like, just by the stature itself. Nah, the first time I got asked, it was
crazy.
They asked me for a photo. I took their phone thinking they wanted me to take a photo. That was the very first time I ever got asked for them. And then they were like, nah, fuck off. Like, they thought I was trying to take the phone first off. And I was like, oh, nah, no, I thought you wanted me to take a photo of you. They were like, no, I want a photo with you. That moment right there, Callum.
Crazy.
It was... like, and it's not something I've ever wished for in any way, but just like someone just wanting a moment with you. Like, they value in that position. That's a great thing, man. And just the way that an altercation with someone can make their day. It's why I actually, when someone does, because I don't get noticed every 5 seconds, but like I said, Liverpool's a small place, so I get recognised more often than not, especially when I'm in public places. And when people do interact with me, I love a photo and all that, but if you actually want to talk to me, obviously if I'm in a rush, I might not be able to like full on have a conversation, but it's the moments that you build in that 1 minute of conversation. It doesn't just have to be, oh yes, James, lad, bam, ching, and then that's it. Interaction over. We can have a little moment. We can, even if it's just talking about the game for a brief second.
Definitely.
That's what I've realised the beauty of this is. Them moments, and that's why it's been a shame. Like, not a shame, it's a blessing as well, but a shame that the first year of like doing YouTube, for example, we haven't been able to like meet up with each other. So many more memories would be made and built. You know.
Because I think the only time we've met up in person was when we did the stuff with AFTV. That was the first time we met in person.
And we weren't like boys, like, because that was the first time we like really knew of each other as well. So we never even spoke much on the day. We were sound in that, but
because we both know AGT. Shout out to AGT. He's on Cop TV, and like, so we'd worked separately with AGT. So when we saw you, like me, Matt, and Drift, we were like, that's James, But we were like, do we go over? Do we not? Like, let's just say hello. But like, the energy was nice, even though we didn't speak to each other. The energy was cool. And then started watching your videos a bit more. You started watching ours, and then I think we saw you jump into one of our videos and leave a comment, and we were like, "Raw, James has watched the video and left a comment. Like, let's reach out to him. And I was thinking, like, I said to the boys, I was like, yeah, I'm going to reach out to him. But obviously, we reach out to people all the time. He might be busy or he might not see it. Reached out to you, and like, no time at all, you got back to us and was like, yeah, love to do it. And I was like, bro, what, James is coming on the channel here. I was like, listen. But when I tell you, like, and I don't say this lightly, because we've both worked with loads of YouTubers, and while we may respect them, we don't have that instant striker chemistry. As soon as we finished that show, I was just like, that boy, one, he's going to go to the top, and two, I'm so glad we know him and we've done this show, and like
Yeah.
can't wait to work with him again because, as I said, not just great at what you do, but you're a good person as well. And it's hard to find that blend in the industry. So, I mean, what made you want to start your YouTube channel? Was it off the back of the interview, or is it just the fact that you realized you kind of were onto something here?
So, I only ever really wanted to do things with Redmen TV.
Mm.
To be dead honest with you, the starting goal, because I was a fan of Redmen TV. I've been a fan of them for years, in case you didn't know that already. And it's one of them, like, I was just happy to do bits with them. But it got to a point in life where I'd left school, I needed to start making ends meet, and so I had a couple of jobs. I was working in the Sandon by Anfield. For anyone who's local, you might know the Sandon. I was working there for a few months. I also had another job as a care worker for people who was deaf, so I was helping them out and stuff. That was like another part-time job. They were 2 part-time ones.
Okay, so sorry to cut you. Do you know sign language and all that then?
Yeah, like A, B, C, D, E, like F, you know what I mean? That's
sick.
Lad, it's one of them. Like, I don't know it properly. I don't want people to
but
start
that's
up
still
to
good.
me and start doing all that. But I done classes for like 6 months, so I know quite a few words. Yeah. Anyway, so they were part-time jobs, and I loved them, but again, they just weren't making ends meet. The hours weren't quite there, so I needed to make more money. I needed to contribute more to rent and stuff like that. But at the end, then I started getting into my head, like, I do want to do YouTube though. So the soonest that I can maybe get a job that can fund YouTube, because all I wanted to do was record a video on my phone.
Yeah.
So the second that I can get a job to fund that, I can get a channel made. I can start maybe just doing videos that way instead of doing it on Instagram, because I'd been doing it for like a year on Instagram at that point, and I was like, F it, I'll just do it on YouTube as well as still doing like Redmen videos. But I had to stop going to Redmen because I needed to work. That's basically how I stopped going there. Anyway, so these jobs aren't working. I get a new job. This is just before COVID, so I'm working in a charity at this point called Shelter, and
beautiful charity.
And like, it was one of them. I didn't expect to get this type of job because I'm knocking on doors. Basically, it was like one of them types, and I'm thinking to myself, do I really want to do this? But at that point, I was like, I don't care. Like, I need to make money, and also I need to fund to start this YouTube. That's the only reason why I wanted a job at this point. So get this job. It was good money, great hours. It was like Monday to Friday. Kind of felt like school again. It was like a routine. I'd go to work. I'd then go to the gym. I'd have my weekends off, and it was like that.
Yeah.
And then COVID kicked in. So I'm thinking to myself, right, so I've just sorted out 2 part-time. This is all since I've left sixth form. I've sorted out 2 jobs, which when you get a job, you're supposed to be doing all right. I'm still skint. I then get another job with a charity, a great job, a job that I didn't know I wanted until I got it.
Yeah.
I realised I got 2 sign-ups on my first day. You're supposed to try and get 2 sign-ups in your first 2 weeks. That's what it's like. I got 2 in my first day. I realised talking to people, I'm alright at talking to people. When that went, because I was working there for like a month, and then they had to furlough us, so then I was on furlough for like 3 months, so fair play to them, because they kept me on for as long as possible. There was other people let go before me as well, so you could see they were interested in at least keeping me on, and I was thankful for that. But to be on furlough for longer than what I was working there, it was just frustrating, bro. So once that went and they had to let me go, I was just sitting there like, what? The whole point I got that job was so I could fund YouTube. And now the lockdown was announced again. And I'm just thinking to myself, well, what do I even do here? I had an iPhone 6 at the time. The iPhone 6 was terrible in terms of storage. You can't record a video longer than 10 minutes. Otherwise, it's probably an alright phone, but when it comes to recording videos, it's like, wow. So I needed a better phone, and I'm just thinking, where do I even go from here? Anyway, I realised I had a bit of money saved away, and I think it was like $1,000, and then I just bought this phone right here, iPhone X, standard, not on mad. I think it's not even like a fresh phone as well. It was like a second hand. Bought it, just started making me videos. I was skint for like the first 3 months of doing YouTube, but I had nothing else to be doing. So I was thinking, because I don't want to like go overly religious on people. I don't want people to switch off. But I'm someone who, I don't go to church every Sunday, but I do, you know, speak to the big man sometimes. And I need them moments, because I'm like, you know, I can feel quite alone. And sometimes just when it's them moments where it's me and him, that it really makes me reevaluate on what I want, basically. And it's one of them where I was just kind of saying, like, right, I'm in this position, I'm in the same position now than what I was before, except now I've got no job. So what do I do here? It's COVID, so a new job's looking very unlikely. Let's just go for this. And it was weird the way it just all started connecting together. So
sorry to interrupt you as you're viewing this. First and foremost, just again, a massive thank you to James Redmond for coming on the channel and just speaking about life, etc. and YouTube. As you would have seen so far in the video, a great guy, and you'll see from the rest of the video, a great story. But please don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and share this with your friends and family. You're a star.
So basically it was when I first went to London, and I met Robbie, and there was troops there and whatnot, and seeing these, that was like a bit mad, you know what I mean, because you just watch them. So I'd even admit it myself, I was probably a little bit fanboyish, lad. I was just there yes, troops, you're alright, mate, this, that, and the other. Just embracing the experience. First time in London. I don't go to London, lad.
Was that your first time in London?
First time in London. So like, lad, it's not something that I was used to in any way, shape or form. So got down. It was a good time. It was a funny little show. People should go and watch it if they haven't. Like, even in hindsight, like, we ended up losing the game and everything, but it was just a funny show. We backed our team well. It was when we had confidence.
The good old days.
Imagine telling them this situation.
The good old days.
That was when it started, and just as time went by, like you said, I started doing collaboration with you and a lot of other channels, bigger and smaller. My channel was growing at a pretty crazy, insane rate that I just weren't quite expecting when I started YouTube. And it's led to now. And I don't know, lad, that's just sort of how the journeys went. It's sort of one of them, like, when I'm saying it out loud, I know I'm going to miss loads of parts out, because it's been one of them journeys where it's so much that comes into it. There's so many people that you sort of thank along the way. And I haven't achieved anything marvellous, you know what I mean? I don't even think of it that way, but I didn't even think I was going to get to this point, Callum. Do you get what I mean? So when I've had people like yourself not only help me through YouTube, when you first asked me to come on your channel, allow people to remember, your channel had more subscribers, so that helped me. So at the end of the day, I'm grateful for that. Furthermore, we've stayed doing content, but even outside doing content, you've helped me massively for personal issues, as we both know. So, lad, through that, I've made great friends. Expressions.
Yeah, shout out to X.
a fucking amazing person as well, though, lad.
Yes.
Funny as anything, but an amazing person in so many ways.
I'm glad you said that about Expressions, because you see, when someone's such a funny character, people kind of neglect to think about what they're like as a person, because we've seen some of the funniest comedians over the time of the world. Like, they're great on camera, but off camera, you just don't even want to be near them.
He's a bit of all of the comedians, bro.
Yeah.
He's a bit of all of them.
Yeah. Expressions literally is one of the funniest, but also one of the nicest, humble people you'll meet. Like, the guy, like, you see when we see him on, like, before we start a stream and stuff like that. Yeah. He's the exact same energy as when the camera's on and off. Like, the guy he's brilliant, man. He's brilliant. I'm so happy he's getting the success he's getting. He's such a great guy.
The thing is, and he should be getting more. He's just hit 100,000 followers on Instagram.
Big ups to Expression.
Which for him is amazing. And again, like what you just said, big him up every single time. But I don't know how he's not on 500,000. And I'm not just saying that to kiss his ass, mate. The talent that he's got is insane. It's how quick he is. Some people really underestimate, like, how hard it is to be that quick-witted at all times.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched the video where he went on a date with that girl, it's the greatest. Like, that will make you truly understand just how quick he is if you don't get it from his videos already.
Yeah.
Another like we both mentioned, he's a great person. Someone who took me in a way, got me on his channel. He weren't getting many people on his channel. But because he had no gain of getting me on his channel. Yeah. But because he felt, I was funny and I had a little bit of something to me, he gave me a chance, lad. And my channel went from 15,000 subscribers to then 20 and 25. Yeah. Big Expressions up every single time. Shout out to Rance. If it weren't for Rance, I wouldn't have this microphone. He sent this microphone over to me.
Bless him.
Lot of people, like, there's people who might have their opinions on Rance, that he might be a bit this, that. Rance, to me at least, has been nothing but a gentleman, proper respectful, and also someone who has massively helped me along the way through this. Paul and Chris,
Definitely.
big them up every single time. Again, I haven't won an Oscar, but I want people to know, watching this, that I am truly appreciative of the position that I am in. Callum, like, 40,000 subscribers is something I
And
was
big up
thinking
yourself,
of.
bro.
I was thinking of way beyond them right now.
Yeah.
So I thank all them people who's helped me with the content side of things.
Yeah.
But also shout out to all the Redmond's Army, for example.
Mm.
Or people who don't even associate with themselves with the Redmond's Army but still click on a video. To anyone who just gives me their time of day, even if it's only a couple of times a week, you do not understand how much that means to me, because me doing that content, it's the reason, it's to entertain people. So when people actually show that they're invested into it, it means a lot, because I love what I do. So if you love what I do, then we have something in common.
Yes.
Does that make sense? And that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
beautiful thing about YouTube, bro. And I went into that tangent to let people know
Yeah.
I'm in this position all I want, but I am nothing. Or I'm always James Redmonds. I'm always going to be the same person as I was before I started YouTube. However, I'm not in this position without you people.
Fact.
And that's what we all need to realise.
Yeah.
You're a YouTube channel owner. We're nothing without the people who support us.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, we're our
it's
own
true.
people. So
It's true. And I think, and again, you're a bit like me, obviously, on Coppish. Like, you've got loads more subscribers than us, but I see you work with channels with like me, for example, this Sanderson show, barely any subscribers, scratching the surface. But you see what it is. A lot of people kind of forget that we all start on 0 subscribers. No one comes into YouTube on a certain amount of subscribers. Like, you all start from 0. Granted, you like Robbie, for example, shot up to however many he's got now because he's built that platform with AFTV. Exactly. Started on 0. So it's like me doing a stream with someone on behalf of Coppish for someone who's got 100 subscribers or 10 subscribers, or you might get 5 people in the live. That's nothing to me. That, look, all more for it, because you know what? It shows that you're willing to grind, and I'm here to help you grind as well. So I will always help out people, regardless of their status.
100%.
Makes a difference.
Used subscribers as a judgment of who I work
Yeah.
with. You know, if you're a great person and you want to do well and you love the same thing I do, there's no reason why I won't want to collaborate. It's a shame that I get asked so much to do videos, and it's an honour as well, the fact all these people want to get me on their channels, and I'm forever appreciative. And oh my god, the wishes that I had that I could have more hours in the day to fill in these times, because bro, like, you need to manage your energy. We were even touching on this before we went live.
Yeah.
You need to manage your energy. That's massive, because you don't want to overdo it. You know, when you're talking about it, you want it to be pure, but it is also, there's something special about, like, helping people as well, and like helping people get into a certain, like, landslide of subscribers. So say they're on 50 and then they reach 100. It's like, that's a beautiful moment, man. And
it's beautiful.
It's these small victories that I feel like people need to celebrate more. So for example, I hit 40,000 subscribers the other week. You hit 20,000 a few weeks ago. Them moments right there, even though for me the aim weren't ever to get 40,000 subscribers, for you it weren't to get 20. But it's still a moment that should be celebrated. Otherwise, what's the point in doing all this? We need to celebrate each other more. And this is what I'd like to say to people. You as my friends and mine as yours. You as the worker, as the person who puts out the content on Coppish, as well as Matt and Drift, shout them out every time.
Yeah, of course, my brothers.
You know, you two putting that content out, that's a great thing, bro. But at the same time, it's for me as your friend to big you up for the achievements that you have all got collectively. Because it's your job to keep that content on top.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And you do this. You give that same energy to me. You know, I'm not sitting here being like, oh my god, I've just got 40,000 subscribers. Even though in my head, I'm dancing, because it's a beautiful thing, but I'm always focused on just making the next video even better. That's always the way it is, man. And
Facts.
I always need to let people know, and you know, this is the great chance to do it, because we're talking about me.
Yeah,
this is how I feel. And that's what I like to tell people, man.
Definitely. So James, being a YouTuber now, because you can officially call yourself a full-time YouTuber, how's it affected your day-to-day life? Has it changed your outlook on life? Obviously, you get into it, you didn't expect to hit 40k so quickly. You have. Has it changed your expectations on yourself, on the game? What's it done for you?
Yeah, it changes quite a lot of things, to be honest. Like, first off, you can make money off talking about football. That's the first thing. Like, that's the like, you know what I mean?
It's
like,
the dream, innit? It's the dream,
bro. And this is why I have to big up the people. This is the sole reason. You make me live. I'm looking down the camera because I want them to know that, like, you help me live. I talked about before how I was skint before all this. Thankfully, I am in a blessed position where my mother is not someone. If I miss month's rent because I have no money, she's not going to kick me out. You know, she's a beautiful mother, lads, and she'll keep me under the wing. But I now can contribute to her and make her life easier. Someone who, she's always been a single mother, for example. So that's a very difficult thing to do, to not have no support from when I was the age of like 3. You know what I mean, lad? And then to get to support me through this, I can now support her, and that's because of the people who watch my videos, send a super chat. But even all the way to the people who just leave a like and subscribe in that way, that also makes a big difference that people don't actually realise. It's not just we're trying to get numbers. It genuinely does make a difference to a YouTuber. So when I see people making that effort, I have to let it be known. And I am a full-time YouTuber now, and done that off the back of basically having no choice. The reason why I wanted to get them other jobs, the reason why I started working in the charity, was so I could fund doing YouTube. Yeah. Also, I got the blessing of, this is where I have to really find the silver lining in this lockdown, and I always love to find silver linings in situations. The silver lining of this, it's like, I talk about how I speak to God. It's kind of like he said to me, well, yeah, you've been telling me you want your dream, don't you, James? Well, now's your chance.
Yeah, go get it.
Go and get it, man.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. I'm not just asking him for things that I want. I am willing to put the time in to do it as well. I am willing to, day in, day out, to make a new video, a new idea, a new live stream to make someone else's day better. All the way to things to, like, birthday messages, external things that people probably don't realise that you need to do outside. You don't need to send birthday messages.
Yeah, but it makes a difference.
Because you're making their day so much better. And when I get asked to, like, send a birthday message, it makes me feel boss, lad. Because the fact I can make your day better just by saying happy birthday, it doesn't take a lot of effort. And that's given me a lot of joy. So talking about YouTube and stuff like that, that's the perspective it gives you. And you realise it's not just, because I remember when I was younger and I'd watch YouTube, like, wow, this should be sick, this. Just upload a video, record a video, upload a video. But it's not that, though. There's so much more that does come into it. Life outside of YouTube comes into it. Bear in mind, if you're an entertainer or if you're talking for a living, you've got to be in a decent state of mind to be able to do that for a long period of time, every single day, day in, day out, with a bunch of different people. Bear in mind, there's always the odd little person who can maybe alter your mood by just saying something absolutely ridiculous. We know what the internet's like. So, do you get what I'm saying, lads? There's
definitely.
That come into it that you don't really realise, and there's days where, you know, you've set yourself to upload every day this week, but then there gets to a day where it's like, oof, like today I'm just not feeling it, and it's not laziness. But
you're drained.
You don't want to be on a video being like, hello there, everyone.
Yeah.
Redmond TV. I'm not feeling great today, but we're going to talk about football. Like, besides instant match reactions, you know what I mean? Like, that's the only time. Other than that, I don't want that energy. I want my energy to be up there. So I've learned to sort of manage life a lot better. And I'm a young man, Callum. I'm a young grown man. And it's one of them things where I've changed from a boy to a man overnight. And like, I've got my own, like, I look at this not as a business, I look at it as a very amazing thing that I do, but it's a business at the end of the day as well. I'm running my own little business, but one that I really enjoy doing. And that, like, to be doing that at my little age, from where I've came from,
is crazy.
And again, big up the people who help me get there every single time, but it's just, it makes me think, like, what have I done to deserve this? And that answer will never get answered. That question will never get answered. It won't.
Well, I disagree. The reason you're in the position you are is because you're good at what you do. You're a good person. You interact well. And the thing, shall I tell you what is with YouTube? You're more transparent than you think. People will probably gauge who you are as a person based off your YouTube videos if they watch you long enough. And you're relatable. So I think the fact that you're relatable, the fact that you're humble, the fact that you'll tell the truth even though people might not agree with it, people might not always like it, but there'll be that healthy respect. And I'd always prefer to be respected than liked, because if you don't respect me, then You don't respect what I say. You don't respect my actions. If you just like me for the sake of liking me, it's doing nothing for me. I need to have people who will say, no, well, that's wrong, or I disagree with you on that, Cal, because I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. I need to know if I step out of line, someone's going to be like, no, you're wrong there. Get back in line. Like, it's healthy to have that. So by doing YouTube, the reason you're in the position, James, is because you're good at what you're doing. It's who you are. So you're where you are because you deserve to be, bro.
I appreciate that, man. I actually do. It really does go a long way, like them type of words. And it's one of them things where, like, you know, all the way to people working in, like, the ASDA, you know, and all the way, I just say, whatever you do, as long as you're happy and you're fulfilled in what you're doing, it doesn't really matter, mate, what it is. It's just put your all into it. I've put my all into it, bro. Like, the second that I was basically given the word go from when I was let go from that last job, I just went, mate, I've got to go for this. There's no other choice. And, you know, I've said to myself, this is a dream of mine. Now that I've got the chance to do it, and now, in hindsight, because hindsight's a beautiful thing, hindsight tells me that, bloody hell, all that work, all that effort, all them hours of where you're tired and it's late after the match and you've just lost and you don't want to do it, all that editing that you do the day after to basically talk about the game again, but in a different perspective, also on top of the news that's revolving around the club, some of which, you know, isn't that true, but it's hypothetical, so you still talk about it, all the way to the editing, all the way to setting up the lights, all the way to making sure everything is still intact, all of that, all of them sleepless hours makes it all worth it.
Yeah.
For the simple fact of people investing to me, bro.
Facts.
And it's people who give me that fuel. So every time, I'll always be grateful for what I do. And I really hope I get to do this for the foreseeable future because I really enjoy what I'm doing.
Nah, you will. You will. And again, I've made no secret about this. I've said that I genuinely believe you'll become the best Liverpool channel. And I don't think it'll be by coincidence. Like, again, nothing but love for Red Men, Anfield Agenda, Anfield Rap. Like, even the smaller channels like Nick from Saint LFC TV and like Daz
Theo Wood,
TV.
shout out to our Theo Wood, shout out to Welford. Come on, the young ones,
Welford, like Ryan LFC, like all these channels. Like, we've got an amazing community of channels. Like forgive me if I've missed any channels out.
Just said that. I'm so
like, we've got such an amazing community, bro. Like AGT as well from Cop TV, big him up as well. Like, we've got such an amazing community.
There's many that we're gonna miss, but let me tell you this: name another football like fans of support a football club where all the channels are so well connected and they get along so much. It's a great thing, and it makes
beautiful.
All the more happy to be a part of it.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And like, even though I think you'll be the top one, shall I tell you what fills me with joy? All of us will rise. Like, all of us will grow. We'll all eat from it. It's a beautiful feeling, man. It's a beautiful feeling. So
people don't realise, Callum, sorry to
No, go for it, brother.
People don't realise, is right, together we are stronger. I don't think like people like, you know, it's not, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of things that I've said in this that people may find cringy. It's fair. I'm only being honest. And it's one of them things where I enjoy this more. I enjoy it when we can collaborate and we can talk about it together, bro. Like I probably wouldn't have met you without doing this.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't have. How would we?
And we're all better for it. Like you mentioned with content, we all help each other grow. When I first went on your channel, you had more subscribers. When I went on your channel, a lot of people then went to my channel because you gave me that platform. Vice versa, as I've gone more in subscribers and whatnot. It doesn't change no matter the circumstances. The environment that you make for yourself, as long as it's a happy environment, why change it? And we all get along, and that's what I love. Seeing people like Theo and Welford, bro, these are young lads. These are like
young kids.
I don't know how old they are. I don't want to disrespect them, but no older than 15. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, these are doing YouTube as well,
and doing it well. They're doing it
fantastically well, bro. We've got a couple of hundred subscribers. Like, they're posting videos constantly. They're learning editing. They're invested into being a YouTuber, and now soon this idea of being a YouTuber won't be so looked down upon as like like in my area, Liverpool, for example, right? YouTube has never been one of them things where people think, what? It's sick if you do that. It's only sick when you make it. It's only good when you're actually making more. The build up to it is it's crazy.
It's a grind.
Kids in school who tried it and then got bullied for it. It's a weird thing, man. And to now see other kids doing it, like Theo and Welford, and doing well, like it's possible. And these are young lads. Boss boss, mate. I
beautiful.
love to see it.
It's beautiful. So, James, what has been your favorite YouTube moment so far, and why has it been your favorite? I know it's a tough question, and you'll have plenty more fantastic moments in the future. But so far, what's been your favorite moment?
Do you know what it was? Yeah, I'd say. Do you know what it was? Yeah, it was 40,000 subscribers, and let me tell you why. I was going to say 10,000 because the reception I got off getting 10,000, bear in mind, I hadn't done as many collaborations at this point, so it was more like organic. Like, it's always organic, but you know what I mean? Like, I felt like I kind of got to that point like by myself, still with a lot of help. I don't want to sound conceited, but
I get what you mean.
So that felt like more of an achievement to myself. 40,000 subscribers, though. I was live when we were doing 40,000 subscribers with the people who are always in the chat and always in the comments. I've got so many regular people who come back to the channel. You have like your community, like I think, like, and we all speak behind the scenes about the Coppers community. You know, I'm in the chat all the time. Everyone can't believe, like, you're on 20,000 subscribers, but the amount of people who regularly come back to the channel is phenomenal. And it's something that you don't see with really any other channel. It's a weird thing. But without going off on too much of a tangent, it's like the community that was there to share that with. That was a beautiful moment. And they were all like, well done, James. Like, you've earned this moment. We were like refreshing it together. And to share that was just great.
Yeah.
I can't think of like a physical interaction because, again, like YouTube's just being over the laptop. And
we've been limited,
That's it. So I'd probably say, with the YouTube channel, it's that. Without the YouTube channel, I'd probably say, because bear in mind, I've been in the eye for a couple of years. It's been like 3 or 4 years. 2017 was the first time.
Okay.
When I went to the Redmen TV studios, was sick. Ask Paul and Christis, right? When I first went in there, it's like they're not just someone who has like a little, like, I only have a little corner in my room where right? They have a full-on studio, 2 floors, rooms filled with like computers, wires, and to get to see that of what I was a fan of for so long, behind the scenes, it was sick, bro. So probably that, if I'm gonna go with like a moment in person, but that was before I'd done YouTube, so I'm slightly cheating.
Yeah. So the big question is, in 5 years' time, if I was to say, James, wave a magic wand, 5 years' time, where would you want to be? Not only on YouTube, but in life as well. What would your answer be?
It's mad that you asked this question, because even before you did, I was sitting there in the shower this morning. I weren't shitting, I was sitting. Just in case people thought the accents, you know, sitting in the shower this morning. Well, I weren't sitting, I was standing. And I was thinking to myself, like, like the next 10 years, like I'm turning 20 in June, right? The next 10 years of my life, these are the most unpredictable but also most exciting 10 years ever, and I like to embrace that, bro, because let me tell you this now, I've got to a point in life where I've experienced bad things. I've experienced, like, you know, like my head is just a crazy place to be inside, as I'm sure everyone else can relate in some way. And it's just one of them things, like, I do sometimes get into them, like, where will I be in 5 years' time, whether it's with YouTube or anything else? Like, bro, I love MMA. I've got dreams about, like, having a, like, professional bouts, just to say that I've had professional bouts. Like, like I've got dreams to box and, you know, do crazy things, like, even if it's just a charity match at Anfield, like, these type of, like, I also know these next 10 years are, like, prime years. And it's a blessing for me to know this at a young age, because now I can embrace that, and I know that these 10 years are gonna happen. God willing, I get to live these 10 years out. I wanna live them to my full potential, and do just what I don't. Yeah, say for example, 5 days, 5 months, 5 years from now, you know, God forbid, I get my leg amputated. I don't want to sit there when I get my leg amputated, like, I didn't really make the most of what I did with me 2 legs, did I? Yeah. Like, I didn't, like, whereas now I'm training MMA and I'm making the most of the young body that I've got, because it's not going to be here forever.
It's not, believe me, I'm speaking from experience.
You're speaking from experience. I speak from podcasts and shit that I watch people saying, you're just not the same when you reach a certain age. I feel, like, especially right now, Callum, without trying to just toot my own horn, I've been training a lot. I feel great. I've been eating much better. Yeah. Physically, I feel phenomenal. Like, lad, feel like I'm truly like entering my prime. It's a weird thing, and
No, you will.
like, and because I know that, I can enjoy it more, and I don't have to look back with regrets. There's always going to be regrets. You always could have done like a little bit more. But what did you do with the things that you were given with at the time? And, you know, like, I've got a boxing bag outside, so I'm going to use that every day. You know, I can go out on a run. I'm going to run all the time because, again, if anything did go wrong, say, you know, even if I died 6 months from now, God forbid, have I to that point, did I live life to my most fullest? Like, if I could look back, would I be happy with what I done to that point? Yeah, man. Like, I can be satisfied with what I've done to this point, Cal. I'm not a horrible person. I've got a lot to improve on. I can be a much better
As we all
person.
do. As we all do.
As we all do. But my aim every day is to only be better. But also just, you know, keep going for me dreams. The dream is the only thing that matters. Everything else is bollocks. People say, you know, education is massively important, but it's not the most important thing. Your dream is the most important thing. And anyone who says you can't go and achieve what you go and achieve, it's just a load of bollocks, mate. And I'm not even going to compare it to my situation. Compare it to people who are much greater and much more successful than I am. Dare to be great. Why not? Because you don't want to sit there when you're 30 or 40 at the end of the day just sitting there thinking, wow, I could have really, really went for it a lot more when I was younger. Go for it. If you are young, like myself, fucking go for it. If you're 30, you're still young, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, whatever plans you think you need to put aside, you don't need to put them aside. If you're still here for a purpose. Without trying to go too much into the God thing again, regardless what you believe, I believe every God-given day that I get, that's a chance to get better and to improve. Otherwise, because this isn't yours. I'm sorry, like, you know, I'm sorry to break it to you people, but you didn't choose this life, you know, you got given it. You're in someone else's house at the end of the day. What are you going to do in the time that you're spending there? Are you going to make the most of it? Are you going to paint a bad picture? What are you going to do? I choose the one where it's going to make me most happy, because I will always have bad problems. I'll always have external things coming into things, and that's going to be it. Everyone goes through their own problems in their own sort of way. What's your attitude to that circumstance? That's what I like to challenge myself. I'm always asking these questions in my head on how to become better. Even like over the past few months, it's the most lost I've ever felt. Maybe I'm asking too many questions, but I'm still in the field though, bro. Do you know what I mean? I'm still getting more chances. I'm still getting more chances to become better, and that's all that I can. That's what kind of makes it make a little bit of sense. By the way, if you hear me dog barking, I apologise about that.
It happens, but I'm used to it. You see on my, you've probably been on streams where you've heard my little one banging the window.
I always know when you give a certain look that way, you know he's running. You know what I mean? It's like, there's little man, it's like.
The boy is something else. But James, like, your words are so inspirational. And again, as someone who's quite a bit older than you, to hear you speak of this sort of, not just humility, but just wisdom at your age, it inspires someone of my age, bro. And like, it's amazing. Like, I can't stress it enough on just how good you're gonna be, man. Like, I can just see it, and like so many other people.
I want you to know, Callum, I have a lot of respect, like a lot of respect for you. Like,
bless
a lot
you,
of
man.
respect, lad. And you know, I haven't grew up with like a father figure, but over the years I've learned of what a good male figure is, and you know, to see yourself, the way that you handle things in life, and the fact that you keep going, you give me inspiration, brother. You know what I mean?
Bless you, man.
Obviously, like I said, there was even a few weeks ago when I was at a very low point, lad, you were there for me, and I appreciate that, and that doesn't go unnoticed. And just, lad, nice one. I appreciate it, you know what I mean? You're the top man yourself.
Bless you, brother. Nothing but love. Before we take you out, bro, got some quick fire questions.
Let's go. He's like,
so these are the ones you haven't seen. So this is going to be nice and fun. So question number 1. Better song for you, Allez, Allez, Allez or Field of Anfield Road?
Ooh, right, there's more nostalgia to the other one, but Allez, 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 lad, Allez, like that goes off, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, that goes off. All
right. One YouTuber you haven't worked with that you'd love to work with from any realm of life, any genre, anything.
Okay, Chunks, lad, Chunks.
Chunks,
lad, he's a bit like, it doesn't have to be football.
No, any.
Lad, I love Chunks, man. Have you saw how great he looks now as well? Chunks, lad, he's brilliant.
Oh, that will happen one day. It has to. There has to be a crossover.
Do you want me to tell you a fun little fact, actually? Because I know this is quick fire, but I want to say, I met Chunks in London. It was on the way home from an 888 Sports shoot a few months ago, and
Yeah.
he knew who I was. Basically I stopped him. I was like, yes, Chunks, because it was weird. I was like in an alleyway, I was waiting outside this thing for me mum, and he just came walking past. It was at Euston train station, and I just went, oh, you're Chunks, innit? Going on, lad, like that. Anyway, he's like looking at me like this, and we're just talking. Anyway, and then I go, yeah, lad, a few years ago I done like this video, and he was like, shut up. And then he clocked who I was, lad. It was a mad thing. I was like, yeah, easy. Then he was quality, proper respectful as well.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Person, lad.
Yeah. Bro, you should make that happen, man. We're going to push for that. We're going to push for that. All right, question number 3. You can only pick one scenario. Either Liverpool beat Everton on the last day of the season to secure a league title, number 20, or Liverpool beat Manchester United in a Champions League final.
Ooh. That's a phenomenal question, because both will feel fantastic.
Yes.
It's a lot closer now that I've started doing YouTube, because I interact a lot more with like Man United fans, and I realise like they are knobheads, you know what I mean? Like, we're all knobheads to each other, but they are knobheads. So Everton fans still low, because I'd win the league, because one, we'd be getting a laugh at Man United because we're equaling them for the league trophies and whatnot. That's one thing, and also even beating Everton on the last day to win it, I get to laugh at the people who live around me. So that's what I say, you know. Like, do you like the way you must hate some Arsenal fans, for example?
Bro.
That's what it's like. Imagine Everton fans still chatting shit when they literally can't.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to go through, lads. It's weird.
I hear you. All right. You get a choice of ringside tickets or octagon side tickets, but the two options are either AJ, so Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, or Ngannou versus Jones. Which one you going to?
You know what I'm going to say.
I know.
What I'm going to say. Octagon side all day. Listen, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, that will be a sound fight, but I feel like I know what's going to happen there.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Tyson Fury has win that. Even though Anthony Joshua will propose problems, I think Tyson Fury wins that based on the evidence we've got. However, John Jones and Francis Ngannou, the greatest ever mixed martial artist based on record against the heavyweight champ of the world in Francis Ngannou. Bear in mind, he's not just any ordinary heavyweight champ. He is a beast.
Touch of death.
Bro, if I could see anything like the Alistair Overeem knockout in person, octagon side, bro, not a chance of my passing up on that. No way. Plus, I actually think in general, right, Callum, I think you'll agree, UFC, the way they do their events with fans is different. So to experience that would be amazing. That's a thing on the bucket list.
Yeah, definitely. All right, rank these 4 from worst to best. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, John Cena, and Roman Reigns.
Ooh. Right, I'm going to say, for me, John Cena. Just because I liked everything he stood for when I was growing up. I was like, he's respectful and he wins all the time. He's sick of him, lad. Do you know what I mean? So I was just like, yeah, John Cena's the one. Other than that, though, The Rock, lad. Do you know what I mean? The Rock he's the best out of all of them. Roman Reigns is starting to do bits now, though.
Yeah, he has. He has, to be fair. He has.
And then smashing it.
He has. And then final question, which is the most sort of relevant question to where we are at the moment. Billy Joe Saunders versus Canelo. Who wins? And how did the win?
Listen, shout out to a man like Billy Joe Saunders, yeah. Because he's funny, lad, and he's a great boxer. Very, very good.
Brilliant boxer.
Accomplished so much. World class. Canelo's the best. Like, at the end of the day, I think boxing as well, it's a lot more predictable than MMA. Because even though a knockout punch can just finish you, turn your lights off, Canelo has got that much to his game. He's got that much to his mental side. He's got that much in terms of technique.
Yeah,
it's too much for a lot of people, man. Like,
it's
because if I say Canelo's going to beat you up, you should not take any offense to that at all. Like, you really shouldn't, because he is phenomenal at what he does. So I just think to myself, like, Canelo will win, but I actually think Billy Joe Saunders will put in a good scrap. I think he's gonna demonstrate a lot of heart and fight, and it's gonna be skill what beats him.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I'd love Billy to do it, but I can't see who beats Canelo.
That's it.
Yeah.
Who does? Who is it?
I don't know.
Just Billy Joe Saunders. Who the fuck does it?
I don't know. The only person I see beating Canelo is if Andre Ward came out of retirement.
Facts.
Apart from that, I don't see anyone. Yeah. Don't see who beat.
It makes you think like if he connects, then
yeah,
he might have a problem.
Yeah.
And he knows patterns, because this is the thing about boxing as well. It's patterns to get into your combinations. It's not just the combination itself.
Yeah,
I can throw hooks and all this from here. But if I can set it up with my feet and then throw the same combination, the outcome is all the more devastating. And that's the difference between Canelo and like these other boxers. He knows them patterns much better than they do. It's just a game for him. Also, again, big up to Billy Joe Saunders. But did you see the way that Canelo was looking at him? It was just like, you're just another person who I have to beat.
Yeah,
just another guy.
He's just got that. He's got that aura, that confidence, that aura, almost that like a Mike Tyson had or a Floyd had. He's got that now. He's that guy who's got that, and he looks around and he says, "Yeah, Billy Joe, world class, Kovalev, world class, but me, I'm just a different level." And it's not even arrogance. He just got that confidence that just says,
"No, it's because
I know I'm better."
He believes in his work. He believes in the hard work that he puts in. There's nothing wrong with that, and you know. When you see the outcome, you'd understand why he's so confident.
Facts.
I would be. If I had that brain, mate, I'd be confident.
Same here. But Hammers, James, it's been an absolute pleasure doing this with you, chopping it up. Bro, like, I can't explain just how happy I am, one, to be able to do this, and two, for you to be the first person to do this with us on the channel. So, bro, really appreciate it, man.
It was
really
good to
appreciate
talk about something that weren't Liverpool related, as well, I love talking about Liverpool, but if we was to talk about Liverpool, it's most likely not going to be a happy conversation.
No,
I like this
not at the moment.
Because even outside of this stream, me and you, we have a lot of like talks about life and stuff like that, and I gain a lot out of that, lad. So again, another one of them conversations, and shout out to everyone every time supporting these videos, either from my channel, whether it's from Coppish. Make sure you're smashing the likes and subscribing, and just once more, man, thank you for all the support that you all show. Nice one, Callum, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, brother. Until next time, people, stay safe, stay blessed. This is the Sanderson Show. I'm out, people. Hammers, you're a legend, bro. Thank you.
My G.